This is the fastest way to become a digital marketing data analyst and go from not having a job in this industry, maybe even not having a degree or even any experience in this field, to getting a job in this industry. We're going to walk through it and look through that roadmap and then look through my own journey and point out areas where I could have tweaked it and gotten to where I am much faster. If you're not familiar with who I am, my name is Will Chow, and I've actually worked 8 years in the digital marketing space. For the first 5 years, I worked at a high performance digital marketing agency where they're basically paid based off what they could actually return their clients. So it's kind of a more high pressure agency, and we did SEO, pay-per-click advertising, social media ads, Google ads, your typical run-of-the-mill roundhouse services. And then I moved on to my current role as a digital marketing analyst at my agency, and then I up-leveled and got promoted to a senior analyst. And so I'm currently kind of like a subset of a data analyst where you're not necessarily programming as much, but you're doing a lot of similar things where you are kind of more focused on knowing the marketing tools. You're setting up marketing traffic tools like Google Tag Manager to set up and capture how users are interacting on the site. A lot of custom tracking, measure custom metrics, and then you're visualizing that, plotting that, and querying that to create these beautiful graphs and charts for leadership to really see what they're doing right and not. And I'm also working as a consultant to help these people identify insights from their data to really spot trends and key things that they would have missed to better improve their digital marketing efforts. So with that being said, how do you actually get from point A to point B, like I mentioned, in a much faster level? Well, it actually comes down to some key things that I think you can do to kind of level up. I'll tell you my journey, and I think you can probably do something similar. So I actually had no degree in that field. I actually graduated pre-med as a biology major, expecting to go to med school, but I took a pivot and decided that wasn't a passion of mine. So now I was in a tough place with a degree I had nothing I wanted to do with, and not sure what I wanted to do. After some soul searching, eventually I realized, hey, digital marketing is something I've always enjoyed, but I didn't really feel at the time there was much opportunity to get a career in the field. It was still kind of an emerging field. Now it's just blown up. So now you're in a much better place. I did have some experience, and so that's probably the first thing I would recommend. Get some experience and show some real data that you helped X company. Maybe it's your own company, maybe it's someone else's, but X company get from some number to a larger number. Surprise, surprise, a lot of these employers, they like data, especially if they're hiring a data role. So if you can show tangible results of improving the, usually the traffic or the sales or conversion rate of some entity, that will be a huge plus versus a lot of your competition, who are usually like people out of college who may have a marketing degree, but like no real tangible experience. They have a slight edge versus someone with no degree or a degree in a different field, but it's really not the edge that's going to make or break it. I mean, there's a lot of, having been on the hiring end of the table, hiring interns, there's a lot of these interns who have a marketing degree, but like we don't really give that much weight to it because like they still have no idea how to run Google ads. They're if they have any samples or ideas, or when they complete their exercises, it's usually off base. Like, we used to do a few exercises at my first agency to kind of see if like they knew what they were talking about. And so they would like, either like build a report or use some marketing numbers to like, try and give insights. And usually it was way off. It was like, they would, because it's all theory. They don't know any better, and so they pull out metrics that like we wouldn't care about, like random stuff, like I don't know, like how many Twitter followers you had, and then they would like come to these conclusions that like really have no bearing. So they don't have the experience to really be like yeah, what really matters are like sales and traffic and conversion rate. But you can, like, even if you don't have that experience, like you can watch a video like this, and you'll be able to flesh out, oh, that's what really matters. And so, like, doing some self-taught knowledge and then applying it to real work can really get you above and beyond. So for me, I had a few things to speak to. One was that back when I was in like middle school and a little bit of high school, I actually had this blog that I grew with search engine optimization to millions of visits. And that was just a side hobby. At the time, I didn't know it would amount to much. But it was like a little small game that I played called Club Penguin. And like I just put out the best content. And I was the fastest to put out that content. And I did a lot of SEO work and backlinking to really pump my stats up. And so that was just something I could really speak to. And it wowed people, because the numbers were not only good, but really good. I went from 0 to millions of page visits. And I don't think you need those level of numbers. I think they would have been relatively equally happy if, you know, they saw something like I increased someone's traffic from 1,000 visits a month to 50,000. So you don't need massive numbers, but you need to see something, because you have to understand your competition. And your competition, they have generally more theory because they have like a marketing degree, but they don't have much on their resume to go off of. So the more you can build some tangible things, and please work for free. A lot of the advice and tips on how to do these skill sets are free online in podcasts, YouTube videos, websites, articles. So you can self-teach yourself a lot of this and then just go out there and apply it. You can like cold pitch local businesses, small businesses, and just work for free with them. Whatever you need to do to get some real world results, and throw that on your resume. And if you can speak to and show irrefutable proof, hey, that you helped a small business go from X amount to like 2 times or something like that. It could even be something small as like 500, Instagram followers to 2,000. You're going to have such an edge. And then by doing that, boom, you will kind of get your first big milestone, which I believe is an entry-level job as a digital marketer. Now, personally, that's the route I went. I don't think I could have gotten where I am without first getting that stepping stone job as a digital marketer. I spent 5 years working there, and probably longer than I needed to. I probably could have jumped when I kind of plateaued with my learning and growth at around year 3. But to be honest, I got kind of comfortable and complacent. But, I really don't think so, because that job gave me so much experience. I learned so many new tools that were looked at my second job as an analyst. Google Tag Manager, Looker Studio, Google Analytics, all these skill sets I was trained at in the job. And if they were new and no one knew them, we got to learn them together as a team, as a company, with real clients, and help them deliver real results. So because of that stepping stone job, I was able to speak so confidently about these tools that I had real experience in. And that helped me stand out, because a lot of these jobs as a senior digital marketing analyst or whatnot, they are kind of looking to see if you have these skills. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't. And they may even say they will. So they're really looking for real proof to kind of sift the wheat from the chaff, sift the liars from the real people. And the more you can accumulate real experience, real evidence, and put that on your resume, you will stand out from the other people. So the key thing is getting that stepping stone job. Can you jump straight from nothing to a data analyst role? I'm sure some have accomplished it, but I wouldn't say, at least in my journey, I don't think I could have done it, and I would have say it's a lot harder. Not impossible, but just a lot more difficult. So why put yourself on that? Why not just be a patient and spend like 1 or 2 years with that stepping stone job? And then from there, you move into a data analyst role, and this role is somewhat different from a digital marketer role in the sense that you're not going to be running running an ad management platform as much. So you don't necessarily need those as well. You may just need to understand advertising and SEO on a very loose, high level, but more so you're going to be spending a lot more time setting up custom tracking, and then pulling that through to reports, showing that to leadership, showing insights, and then fixing things if they break, and then being that consultant, that strategic consultant. So in that vein, to prepare for that role, you're going to have to start to kind of learn certain things that they won't teach on the job to flesh out that resume. So the next key part of that is really keeping a pulse on the industry and knowing what those skill sets are. The best way of doing that, because they do change, is to look on LinkedIn, look at those job boards, and then look for patterns. And you're not going to do this unless you're looking at enough job posting and looking at them frequently enough. But I would say, just a couple hours, like once a week or maybe even once a month, may be enough to really get a sense for what are the most common hard skills and qualifications that I'm missing, that you're missing, and then flesh those out. Some of those you will not be able to learn at your stepping stone job. SQL would be one example. So certain programming languages, fortunately, you can learn on the side yourself. There's a lot of free, affordable classes and courses. I personally like Code Academy. I'm not affiliated, but there's so many that will teach you these programming languages, and then you can actually say it, you can speak to them on the job. You don't want to be in a situation where you just say, oh yeah, I have all these skills, and you don't. And then you try and learn them on the job, but then like they need them today. And then you're like, even if you get hired, they're going to find out you don't have that job. You probably won't have that job for long. So learn some of them on your own. It's really not that difficult. If you're not someone who is good at programming languages, or it's just not the right brain space for you and you're more of a creative, artistic person, well, you may be out of luck. Your best bet is probably a marketing data analyst job like mine, where you need some SQL knowledge, but it's more beginner or intermediate. But even then, you're still going to need some level of SQL knowledge. So if it's really not for you and you're just planning on like sliding by without knowing any of the technical skills and not knowing Google Tag Manager in and out, then that's kind of a big issue. I think the biggest mistake I've seen is people who they on some level think they can skate by without really knowing all the skills, and partially it's out of this level of ignorance that they think they know these skill sets, but they really don't. Google Tag Manager, BigQuery, Looker Studio, Tableau, these are actual skills that you kind of need to know at a deep level. And I once again credit my first stepping stone job for really getting the ins and outs of those tools. And get that experience however you need to do it. And those things will set you up for the job at hand. So I personally think I could have gotten to where I am maybe 2-3 years sooner if I was kind of more specific and less complacent. So that's the path I took. I think you can totally do it. I'm not some super genius. I'm not dumb, but you don't need to be a super genius. You just need to be decently intelligent to get to where I am. So you can definitely do it. Thanks for watching. It's not going to be easy, but it's not going to be the most difficult thing on earth. And I'll see you in the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. Join my free email newsletter if you want exclusive tips on how to get this job. And I'll see you in the next video.